Do you want the government watching your Snapchat? Hard pass on drug tests and background checks. And Pinot versus pot in wine country. I'm Jamal Simmons, and this is why you should care. Senator Josh Hawley is the latest politician with big tech in his sights. The Missouri GOP freshman is proposing a law designed to curb your social media addiction. The Social Media Addiction Reduction Technology Act. Here's one provision of the SMART Act. It would require an alert be sent every 30 minutes telling you how long you've been on that platform each day. Keep in mind, some companies are already helping users track how much time they're spending on different apps and websites. But this law would go even further. It would make it a requirement. In an interview with NPR, Hawley said social media business models were increasingly exploitative in nature and added that companies are trying to evade accountability. All right, here's why you should care. Recently, I got caught in this YouTube vortex that ended up with me spending way too much time watching Jennifer Lopez hip-hop collaboration videos. There's only so much Ja Rule any grown man should experience. The same thing could happen to you on Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter. There are stories of loners who spend lots of time on social media and then commit horrific crimes. And a 2017 study concluded that addictive use of social media leads to higher narcissism and lower self-esteem. These aren't necessarily good life choices, I admit. But does the government have to get involved? That depends on who you blame. Are we caught in these vortexes because we just have no self-control? Or are the big tech companies manipulating us? This bill is an example of the evolving conversation around technology in Washington on both sides of the aisle. Finding a good job has always been tough, and finding good workers might be getting harder for employers too. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, our current unemployment rate is 3.7%, and that might be finally forcing bosses to consider workers they would have dinged a few years ago. These days, that drug test, unfinished degree, or criminal conviction from 10 years ago might not keep you from the paycheck you've been looking for. According to a recent report from recruitment and staffing firm Adecco USA, close to 40% of employers say they have loosened job requirements in order to recruit workers. Companies are also lessening their education requirements. For example, the number of jobs listed on ZipRecruiter requiring an associate's or bachelor's degree or an MBA has dropped in the last 2 years. Here's why you should care. For years, civil rights groups and advocates for formerly incarcerated citizens have been trying to get employers to ban the box. They want potential bosses to stop asking about criminal convictions on job applications. The theory is that so many people have been incarcerated for things that don't have any impact on their ability to do a job, but they'll never get a shot because they admit to the conviction on the job application. So applicants should disclose their history, but maybe in the interview process, which is a little later. There they might get a better look, and they can explain the circumstances around what happened. And that drug test might be irrelevant in a society where marijuana is becoming decriminalized and dozens of states have made it legal for recreational or medical use. Despite President Trump's hard-nosed rhetoric, the good job numbers that started under President Obama and have continued in the Trump administration might be giving social justice advocates the assist they needed to get more people a shot at the American dream. In California, it's wine versus weed. Relations between wine country and cannabis farms are up in smoke, figuratively speaking. Wineries have long dominated areas of California's northern coast where they cultivate the perfect grapes that make some of the country's finest wines. It's a combination of climate, the right soil, and closeness to the ocean. Pot growers have caught on to this too. After California gave the green light legalizing weed and cultivation in 2016, cannabis companies moved in. California left it up to the counties to decide how growing marijuana is regulated. To that end, some counties banned it entirely, while others welcomed growers with open arms and implemented pot-friendly rules. This pushed cannabis and wineries closer together. Why should you care? Seems like wine and weed ought to go together pretty well, right? While wine producers say they don't have a problem with weed, their new neighbors are impacting how they grow their crops. Under California state law, marijuana cannot contain any trace of fungicides or pesticides, which wineries use to maintain their vines. Here's the thing, the ocean's breeze helps make for a perfect Pinot, but it also blows pesticides on the pot. And that's not cool, bro. I hope they sift through this one. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos. And head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.